that we need to pay close attention to. And then begin to lengthen the breath. So we want the inhales and the exhales to be the same length. And sometimes it's a little easier to manage that inhale, get it a little longer, and then stretch out the exhale. And this breath, this is the breath that we're going to use today. These slow, long, complete inhales and exhales. And then we're going to move forward to the edge of our chair. Open the eyes if they're not already open. And just come to a comfortable seat here. So I want to connect to the floor. I don't want those feet on any other prop right now. So you don't have to sit on perch on the edge of the chair, but somewhere that you can be comfortable and reach those arms down alongside the body. So we want this nice long spine, crown of the head reaching for the ceiling, feet connected. And as we inhale, we're going to take those arms wide. So wide arms, palms down, fingers are reaching out from our heart center out to the fingertips. Everything's engaged on those arms. Shoulders come down. Stay for another inhale. And then as we exhale, we're going to bring those palms together in front of heart center. Now imagine we've got a balloon or a ball or something. We're like pushing and getting some push back. And the palms come together, elbows go wide, thumbs rest right there on the sternum. Okay? Shoulders are still down. And then this next inhale, whatever it is, we push the palms together and we reach up. Now, depending on what's going on with the shoulders, you might be all the way up here, or you might reach and stop here at a cactus. Either one is good. Shoulders are still down from the ears, and energy is still all the way up through the fingertips. Even if you're here, I want those hands active. And then on our next exhale, whenever that is, we let the arms come down. Now, I usually say float the arms down, and that comes very naturally, but I really want you to reach out through the fingertips. So you're reaching down while the crown of the head reaches up. Okay? And now put your hands in your lap for a moment. Take a breath. We're going to do that 3 times, and we're going to come back to those 3 thoughts, right? Gratitude for the blessings, acknowledgement of the hardships, and hope for the future. When our hands come together, that's when we have that opportunity. So hands come down, we sit up tall. We inhale, arms wide, palms down. Exhale, pull those hands together. You're pushing against that energy. Palms come together with gratitude for the blessings of 2020. Then we reach the arms up, perhaps look up. And arms reach back down to the floor, head comes neutral. Round 1. Round 2, arms come wide. The exhale brings these palms together with acknowledgement of the hardships and the challenges. The inhale reaches up. Exhale, come down. Okay, know that the screen just froze, sorry. Third round, inhale wide. Exhale. With hope for the future. Reach up. And exhale, take it all the way back. And now just pause with those hands in the lap. Notice how that feels. That just a little bit of movement in the upper back and the arms. And now we're going to come to our cat and cow. So bringing the motion into the spine now. Inhale, fill up the belly, arch the back. And exhale, tuck the tail around the spine and drop the chin. So some motion here, easy motion. Just bringing some motion into the spine. Now, I know that when the schedules get changed, it's real easy not to do stuff. I know I did a lot of not stuff too, but we have to keep that spine limber. So even if all you can do in a day is some cat and cow, that counts. It's good. And after your next exhale, just pause and come back to center, to neutral. Now, let's do a little bit of a twist. We'll take our right hand to the outside of the left thigh. Just take a little twist here. And then take it the other way. Left hand outside right thigh. And then return to center. Okay, let's take those arms wide now. Palms are up, elbows are soft. So completely the opposite of what we were doing before. Let's take a big inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to give ourselves a hug, right arm on top of left. So here's the hug. And I'd like you to pay attention to that sensation of touch. So where your fingers are, maybe give yourself a little tap, a little hug, right? And we'll drop the chin. You can even round the spine, come back to that sense of cat, right? That arch, or I'm sorry, that rounded spine, cat. And then open arms wide again, open arms wide. Same thing, soft elbows, palms up. And then we give ourselves a hug the other way. So this time, left arms on top of right, drop the chin down, let your shoulders come down. And feel that sensation where the fingers are touching your body. So this is really important stuff for the brain. And now come on back, let the hands just rest in your lap. One part of the brain is keeping one side of the information and the other part's keeping the other part of the information. And when we make these connections across the middle of the midline of the brain, we're doing good stuff. So now let's take our hands, just touch your face, one hand on each side. So it's like, oh yeah, this is normal, right? In the morning when you're washing your face or if you're putting on face cream or whatever, right? This is where you touch, this is what you feel. And now we're going to take those hands and just switch it around and do the same kind of touch and just notice how this is a little different. But it's still good. It's just a different sensation. And as we do this, again, we're sending different messages across the midline of the body, midline of the brain. And then put those hands back down. Pause for a moment. Notice the sensation in the face. Notice the sensation in the hands. And just see how that is perhaps a little different than what you were expecting. Okay, I just want to make sure we do everything I want before we move on. Okay, yeah. Now, let's take our hands in front of us. We'll come to like Charlie's Angels, you know, like a little pointer finger there. Charlie's Angels. And we're going to make some circles in front of us. Now, these circles can be as big or as small as you like. But you'll notice that my circle is going from one half of my body to the other side. So it's like I'm going up on the, in this case for me, going up on the left side, going down on the right. And I'm really not sure how this tracks when it comes across Zoom. Sometimes it reverses it. But we're all going to pause and reverse. So that's why I often give you left-right information, just so we can keep it all legit. So now we're making circles in the other direction. And you'll notice that it's not just your arms that are moving here, but I feel my weight shift from one sitting bone to the other. My shoulders are working. My spine is tall. And now just pause, put the hands back down in the lap. Notice where you feel sensation. And now we're going to come back to these Charlie's Angels arms, and we're going to make a figure eight. So in this case, I'm going down to the right, up and over, down to the left. So this is an infinity sign, a sideways figure eight. And we're just kind of going side to side. And again, you'll notice a little bit of a twist in the spine, some shifting of the weight from one sitting bone to the other, and then pause, and we'll take it in the other direction. So now, down to the left. I think that's opposite. No, it isn't. Now we got to go up. That's what we have to do, up. And this is where it's good because we have to think a little bit. And the thinking helps. So we're going up and around and down. And then after that next one, just pause, let the hands rest. So work is happening in the forearms and the arms and shoulders. And we get that little bit of a twist in. Just notice how it feels. We don't want to cause any pain to the body, so we're only working within the range that feels okay. Now we're going to do those figure eights again, but this time it's going to be a standing up figure eight. So with those hands straight ahead, let's go down into the left and then up and around. Yeah. Now you know that we're going to have to switch this, and I'm going to get very confused. But it's funny because when I do it vertically, this vertical figure eight, I feel a lot more wiggling in the body. I feel like I'm doing a lot more. Now we get to the middle, and let's take it the other way. So up and to the right. And again, we're crossing the midline of the body and the brain here, and this is good. And then just pause, shake it out. Okay, now this last one, I swear to God, I can't do it, but we're all gonna try together. I was practicing this with my husband last night. I said, safety goggles might be important. We're gonna let's take our right finger to our nose and take our left finger to our right ear, okay? Now, we're gonna switch and take the right finger to the left ear, right finger to the nose. Again, don't poke yourself in the eye. But notice how much thinking we're having to do here. So this is not just, flopping your hands one to opposite ear. This, shoot, I lost it. Here we go. This is a lot of work. And this is the kind of thing that as we spend more time watching screens, doesn't matter what your age is, whether you're young or old, more time watching screens and less time doing this physical movement, we're losing this stuff. And this kind of connection, really important. So these are the kind of things you can do any day of the week, anytime, lying in bed, sitting in a chair. Yeah. And then stop, shake it out. And thank you for indulging me. We're going to do some more later. But for right now, let's stand up. So we're going to stand up. If you need to keep this chair close by for balance, please do. Or keep the wall close behind you. I like having the wall right there. And that way, if I need it, I can reach my hands back. But let's come to a mountain pose. Feet are parallel straight ahead. Crown of the head is reaching for the ceiling. And let's come back to that sequence with the arms that we started with. So our hands are very strongly reaching down. Crown of the head is reaching for the ceiling. As we inhale, we're going to reach the arms wide. Exhale, push that energy between the palms. We've got a dynamic tension here. Here it is. We bring the thumbs to heart, close the eyes, tuck the chin. Recalling with gratitude the blessings of 2020. And then open the eyes and let the next inhale take those arms up. They'll separate at some point. You can even look up. And then as you exhale, the arms reach down actively. Round two, inhale wide. Exhale, palms come together, recalling the challenges and the hardships of 2020. You can close your eyes, you can tuck your chin. And then let the next inhale, we open the eyes, we reach the arms up. And then reach them down actively. Third round, let the arms come wide. Push against that imaginary balloon, bringing palms together with hope for 2021. Close the eyes, tuck the chin. And then push those palms up, perhaps look up and float those arms all the way back down. And I said it, I always say float, reach them down. Yeah, there we go. And then pause, shake things out, let things wiggle and jiggle. Notice how that feels. Now we're going to come to a warrior one. You can keep that chair there if you need it for balance. Warrior one's pretty stable though, so be open to trying it without the chair. Let's have our right foot forward and our left foot back. And we have room. Our hips are just going to kind of be straight ahead, And that front knee is gonna bend over the front ankle. So we don't wanna go beyond that. If when you bend your knee, you go beyond that, maybe take a slightly longer stance. Let's reach our arms down by our side. And this move it's kind of reminiscent of Tai Chi, I think. As we inhale, palms are forward, we're gonna bend that front knee, bring that energy in. So we kind of reach up and grab it. And then exhale, push down, straighten the front leg. And you feel that back leg really connecting to the earth. Now you can do this with one hand only and the other hand on the chair if that's what you need to do today. Both are good. Don't worry about it. So when you're ready, we're going to do this 3 times. Inhaling, scooping up that energy, bending the front knee, bringing it in. Exhale, turn the palms down, push down, straighten the front leg. Inhale. Exhale. Do it again. Now we're going to do just the inhale part. So come on in, inhale, pull that energy in. Stay here and exhale. Push down into that back foot. Keep breathing. When you feel that connection to the earth, you might feel a stretch on the front of that left thigh. And then we're going to release our hands and step that back foot forward. Take a moment, notice how that feels. We're going to do the same pose. So step back now with the right leg, left foot is forward. Same thing, make sure you find what your foundation is so that when we start moving, we're doing it safely. We'll do one practice one. So we're going to scoop up. This is all inhale. And then turn the palms down, push down as you straighten the leg. It's like that balloon again, we're pushing against. We've got all this dynamic tension today. Okay, so let's go 3 times. Inhale. And exhale. And your breath might be faster or slower than mine. That's okay. Now we're going to just do the inhale part of the movement. And exhale and stay here. Then we'll release the hands and we'll step forward. So just pause and notice how that feels. We did one side and then the other side. Now we're going to come back to that same pose a little differently, okay? We'll step back with the left foot, so right foot is forward. And do the same thing, but different. So when you're ready, let's inhale, bring it in. Keep the legs as they are, push down on the exhale. So just really making sure we ground that back foot. Yes. Then bring hands together at heart center. We've done this before. And we'll lift those arms up and overhead. So here we are coming into a warrior one with arms extended. You might be at a cactus. We breathe here. We push down into that back heel. Same pose, a little different arms. How does it feel different? Bring the palms back down together and down to heart. Step your back foot forward. We'll switch to the other side. Right foot steps back, left foot is forward. We find the pose, legs are straight. Inhale, gather the energy, pull it in. Exhale, push down while that front knee is still bent. Yeah, grounding that back leg. And then hands come to heart, elbows are wide. So again, we've got tension here. And we reach those arms up, separating whenever they need to separate. You might lift your gaze. Notice what that does to your balance if you lift your gaze. And breathe. And look, I can put my hand on the wall to help support me, whatever I need here. Bring hands back to heart. You can release the hands, step forward, and just pause and notice. So warrior one, a little different movement, but 2 ways. And we did that on purpose so that we could kind of notice what it's like to be here, to experience it two different ways. Now we're going to take a wider stance. And in this case, if you need help with balance, I would put the chair in front of you. I'm not going to do that because it'll block the camera. But let's take these toes out. These are, I'm hoping your right toes out to the side. That foot comes in a little bit. And we're going to make our way to warrior two. So this knee bends over the front ankle. And the knee tracks with toes 2 and 3. So it's not coming in. I don't look down and see my whole foot. I look down and I see that my knee is over toes 2 and 3. Shoulders down from the ears. This is warrior two. Come back to the even breath. Again, if you need that chair in front of you, that back arm would be helping with your balance. Now we flip the front palm, legs stay exactly the same. We reverse our warrior. Now a reverse warrior two is a side body stretch. So you can reach up or you can say, oh, I really want to reach back. Either one is great. All we're trying to do is stretch into the side body. If the shoulder is an issue, you can even take it to here, like a little salute. Side body stretch is what we're going for, my friends. And now we're going to come back. We float back through our warrior two. Fold this arm, bring it to the side of the thigh, and take the back arm up. Now we're coming to the other side. Side body stretch, other side. So you don't need to be down here. You don't need to reach for the floor. You just need to reach that arm up, finding side body stretch. And now we come back through our warrior two. Let's straighten our front leg and flip that front arm up. This is called reverse triangle. Again, it's a side body stretch. And we come back to warrior two. Float the arms down. We're going to flip the toes in. We're going to do the other side. Same sequence. We're doing about 3 breaths per pose. We bend the front knee. We make sure it's tracking over toes 2 and 3. And then we add our arms. This is warrior two. And then you can turn your head and look over the middle finger of that front hand. From here, we flip the front palm and we reach up to the sky. The other arm just kind of floats down. Reverse warrior two, 3 breaths. Even breaths. And then float back through warrior two. Take that front arm, bring it inside that thigh. You're just kind of leaning there for support. And now the back arm goes up. The stretch moves to the other side of the rib cage. And then we float the arms back through warrior two, straighten your front leg, take that front arm up, reverse triangle. So both legs are straight here and I'm reaching up. And let your neck tell you where your head should go, whether you look up or straight ahead or down at the floor. And then come back to warrior two. And we'll flip the arms down from the toes straight ahead. Okay. We're going to do the same sequence. And this time we're going to do 1 breath, 1 movement. So it moves a little bit faster. If you need to balance with a wall or a chair near you, make sure you do it. It moves faster than breathing 3 breaths per move. But if we use that nice, slow, even breathing, it won't feel too fast. So right toes go out, we come to warrior two. Let's take an inhale and an exhale just to ground ourselves. Yes, now inhale, flip the palm over, reach up. Exhale, bring that forearm inside the thigh, back arm lifts. Inhale, straighten the front leg, reach the front arm up. Exhale, warrior two. Stay for an inhale here. Exhale, float the arms down. Turn the legs, turn the feet in, and then we'll go to the other side. So we find our warrior two. We'll take an inhale and an exhale. Now, Lift that front palm. Inhale. Exhale, take it to side angle. Inhale, straighten the front leg, take it to a reverse triangle. Exhale, come back to warrior two. Stay for an inhale. Exhale, float the arms down, straighten the legs. Let's bring the feet closer together. Let's just pause and notice how everything feels. So same sequence, same series, but we changed the breath. So it's like, it's January again, but hey, I'm a different person. How do I approach January differently this year? Same idea. Okay, going back to that cross body stuff because it's so much fun. Okay. So now find your mountain pose. Mountain pose, mountain pose. Get taller. Let the hands come down. And now let's think about separating the hands. Two hands. Let's make some circles in front of us. Circles going towards each other. So these circles are going in opposite directions. And these circles can be as big or as little as you like. It doesn't have to be gigantic. And then let's pause and take the circles in opposite directions. So now, in my case, they're going away from each other. And now pause and float the arms down. Just notice how that feels. Notice what's going on with the arms, the head, the neck. Okay. Now, this is where it gets really weird. We're going to try figure eight, and up and down figure eight. Let's just do 2 figure eights side by side, right? 2 figure eights side by side. This is easy. We got this. Now, let the 2 figure eights go in the opposite direction. They're still side by side, but you flip them around the way they're going. And you know what's happening, right? We're going to have to go to that point where the arms are doing different things. But I don't know that I can demonstrate it, so we'll see. Let's try. Arms forward. And see if you can create figure eights going in different directions. And sometimes it's hard. Like, I have to look at that screen, and it's hard because I see myself and I stop thinking. So maybe I won't look. And then can you flip those figure eights and go the other way? It almost hurts my brain right now. Okay, stop and shake that out. Let everything feel good here. I just want to make sure we keep practicing that stuff. That's what's going to keep us young, my friends. Okay, let's work with some balanced postures now. Let's bring our hands to our hips. For this pose, for this sequence, I think the best thing is the wall either behind you or next to you. And that means a chair can work next to you too. We're going to bring our hands to our hips, one or both hands to the hips. You decide how to do it. And then let's shift the weight into the standing leg and bend the right knee, lift up the right knee. So right now, I just want you to see, I'm standing up on one foot. I've got a whole bunch of right angles happening on this lifted leg. My torso to thigh, thigh to shin, shin to foot. A lot of right angles. And I'm just going to breathe here. And if hands at hips doesn't feel good, bring hands to heart, or you can have that hand on the chair, whatever you need. But we'll stay for 2 more breaths. And then put your foot down. And we switch sides. We go to the other side. So I do like to start with hands and hips because that tells me where my hips are level, and I can kind of start from there. And then lift up that knee. I'm going to turn so you can see. And then I, of course, can always use the wall to help support me. And it takes a while to find the balance, right? It's just like, oh, lift up your foot and you're fine. No. So take the time to find the ease in the pose, to come back to the even breath. And let's stay for 2 more breaths. And then put that foot down and just pause. Notice how all of that feels. Okay, this round, we're going to start with hands at heart, and you can let those elbows be wide, just as we've been doing multiple times today. Weight's going to shift into left leg, we bend the right knee. Same pose, but this time, let's take that foot out to the side. What's it like here? Right, so instead of here, we're here. Now, if you're going to fall, you put your foot down, grab the wall, whatever it takes. You can hold on to the chair. And then bring the knee forward. Step out. Release the hands. We do the other side. So weight shifts into that standing leg and the other knee lifts up. We have all of those angles. All of those angles are really important. And then we take that thigh out to the side. Now, it doesn't have to go super far. Breathe here. Push palm into palm. Notice how if you push the palm into the palm, it's a little bit easier. So same pose, one-legged balance, but we're trying it differently now. Bring the knee forward. Put the foot down. Shake things out. Okay, we're going to take all of that. We're going to pile it up, stack it up, and make it into a tree now. So palms at heart. Weight shifts into left leg. Bring up the right knee. Take it out to the side. You can put your foot down at your ankle or your shin. Just find your tree for today. Push palm into palm. Push leg into shin. Foot into shin. Yeah. And then, if you like, do that same move with the arms. I'm going to advise you to keep the eyes kind of low and on a fixed place in front of you. But if you're here and this is like, I got this, then raise your head, look up. Moving the eyes does really affect balance. So be aware of that. And breathe. So if we get into tree pose and we hold our breath, not tree pose, guys. I don't know what that is, but it's not yoga. Now we bring the palms back together. Push the elbows wide. So we still have this nice tension. Stay here. Release just the foot. Bring the knee forward. Step down out of the pose. Wiggle and jiggle. One more side. Weight shifts, knee lifts. Take it out to the side. Okay. You can stay here if that's where you want to be. You know that. We just keep adding on. Or you can bring that foot down. This is actually, I think, a little easier than standing there on the one foot. So bring your toes down to the floor or foot on the shin. Elbows wide, palms push one into the other. Option to extend those arms. Option to look up, to raise the eyes. You don't have to even lift the chin. If you just raise the eyes, it really affects the balance. And this is, again, good stuff to play with as we continue to work on balancing. And breathe. Bring the palms back together. Find that still a one-legged balance. Release the foot out to the side. Bring it center. Put the foot down. Okay. So take a breath. And just notice how things feel, right? It's really important to pause between some of these sequences just to let that stuff kind of settle in. The pause is just as important as the pose. Now, we're going to all take our chairs and look at the seat of the chair. And we're going to take a slightly wider stance. So my stance is about a little bit wider than my hips. These are my hip bones. You see that my feet are outside that. It's not super wide. I'm not doing the splits. I'll never be doing the splits. Okay, so we're close to the chair that we're going to get tall. We can bring our hands to our hips. We can find that length. And then we're going to hinge forward and just bring the hands to the seat of the chair, or you can even put your hands on your block or whatever you have. And take a breath. Just kind of evening everything out. Now, if we can drop our head, if dizziness isn't an issue, go ahead. You can let the head come down. You can rest on your forearms. You can rest wherever you want. Or you can stay here with long spine. So nice hinge here. You might feel a stretch in the hips, in the back of the hamstrings. And then we're going to soften into the knees. Bring one hand to each thigh and come on back up. It's a good thing we did that fold because I completely forgot about the block or the book. Let's grab it now. Come back to mountain pose. More cross-body stuff. So I'm holding on to this block or a book. It doesn't matter what it is. Just keep it in one hand. And then we're going to take that up and overhead. And the other hand is going to reach up and grab it. And then you're gonna bring it down next to you. Now, this hand that's up in the air is gonna come behind you to grab it. And then take it back up. Arm lifts, we grab it. Let the exhale float it down. Let this arm come back and get it. And let the inhale take it up. Lift up this. Exhale, take it down. Pause here. Lift it up. So we're going to go in the other direction. And by doing this behind the back, even better, right? We're doing all kinds of important things, working with our awareness, our spatial awareness. Working behind the back, across the midline. Do one more round. And then float that down. Float the arm down. Yeah. Take a circle or two with the shoulders. And then we're going to make our way to our chair. So we have one more thing I'd like to try and do. We'll see how it works. It's more cross-body stuff. So you're sitting, you're not on the edge of your chair, but you're not at the back. So my bottom is fully supported by this chair. So I can lean back and lift up my legs. So make sure you can do that, because we're going to hold them there if we can. So this is a little bit of core work, but I don't want you to worry that, oh yeah, this is all core. I want you to be comfortable. So put your feet down, reach your arms forward, shoulders down, and just do a little, like, left arm on top, left arm on bottom. Just do a couple of those. Notice what that's like. Crossing the midline, switching things up. Lean back. You can hold on to your chair and do the same thing with your feet. So we're crossing that center point of the body. Yeah. You know where we're going. So let's try it. Put the left arm on top, left leg on top, right leg. Right. So we have the same arm as leg on top right now. Can we switch it? Can we let the right leg be on top and the left arm? And then if you pause and think, like, did I do it right? Sometimes you have to do that because your brain will take over and say, no, I want to do it the other way. And then just pause. Put your feet down, put your arms down, shake everything out. Imagine you've got a pencil on your nose or a crayon, and just make a real tiny figure 8 in front of you. Just a little bit of motion into that. And then be still with the head and neck. And we will move to the back of the chair. So for this, I'm going to put my feet back on the block. And I'm going to let the crown of my head reach for the ceiling and the shoulders to come down. Let's turn the palms up in the lap. And let's close the eyes. The invitation is to close or soften the eyes. Return your awareness to the breath. Notice what it's like now. Can we come to that even breath any sooner? Just noticing what it feels like to breathe right now. And then take a moment to scan the body and notice how the body feels now compared to when we started this class. And then we're going to blink open the eyes, and we're going to move to the edge of our chair. And again, not too far to the edge, but just so that we're comfortable. Feet are solid on the floor. Let the arms reach down by your side. Crown of the head reaches for the ceiling. One last time. Inhale, arms out to the side, palms down. Exhale, we pull the palms together, pushing against that energy. Thumbs come to heart center, elbows wide, pushed in with gratitude for the year that was 2020, the good things that were there. And then the next inhale takes the arms up. You might even look up And exhale, they come down with energy. Round 2, inhale wide. Exhale, palms come together. Acknowledging the hardships, acknowledging the challenges, knowing that they're a part of us now too. And that's okay. And then next inhale takes it off. The arms reach down. Third and final. Arms wide. We pull those palms together in hope for all that we can accomplish in 2021. So right here, right now, with those thumbs at heart center, the invitation is to close the eyes and tuck the chin and thank yourself. Thank yourself for taking time to practice chair yoga today. I thank you for joining me again. I appreciate that we had a break and that you came back. Good stuff, my friends. Take this good feeling, this feeling of hope. Let's take it with us off this chair and out into the rest of the world. I will say namaste. I will ask you to unmute yourselves and we can say goodbye to each other. Thank you so much for joining me.